where did you grow up? And I would like to know how your creative journey began.
Okay, sure. Richmond, Virginia. That's where I was born, and that's where I still am now. Um,
Famous
don't
city because of the song. Sorry for interrupting you.
Because of the song. Which one? The
The
Richmond.
Richmond, north of Richmond.
Yeah, yeah, that's me. They're singing about me in that
Ah,
song because I'm just
ah.
slightly north of Richmond, on the north side of Richmond. So I take personal, it's my song. Not really, of course. That guy's cool. We've seen him around. He's like a regular boy, and I work in a lot of rural areas, and I'm around a lot of dudes like that. Even though it's not quite my mentality, I'm very comfortable around it because I'm in Richmond. Um, I mean, it's a real mixed bag. Like your neighbors are going to be a very diverse group of people, and I grew up in a real diverse neighborhood. I guess my background of mystery. Ooh, my mom had me and my sister when she was very young, and then my dad was never part of our lives from about my age of 3 on. Big mystery. So, and it's still like a mystery to me and my sister, like exactly what transpired from that, even though like we're in our 50s now. But we grew up with a single mother, and she got remarried when I was about 10, and she moved us out of like the apartments that we were living in. Like I said, she was a single mom struggling, not much money. There was a lot of people that were in the similar situation. So, there was an apartment complex that was full of mothers like her and kids like us, except they were all like, different races, different backgrounds, came from different countries, but all in like similar surroundings. Some of those people I still know to this day, but we moved out of those apartments when I was 10 into the suburbs. And so now we're living in a more suburban environment. There's less kids around. It's a more structured, I suppose, with more families. And, I was more comfortable being by myself at that time. I think when I was in the apartment world, you could go outside and be surrounded by people, but still kind of be doing your own thing as a kid. Whereas if you're in a cul-de-sac in a suburb, and you go outside, people are going to look out their windows, see you outside, and then come outside as well. And then, you know what I'm saying? There's nowhere to hide. You can't hide in a suburb. So I spent a lot of time in my room. And the things that you can do in your room to pass your time that don't bother anybody is you can listen to music on your headphones, or you can read books or read magazines. So that's pretty much what I did as a kid. And that's like where I stuck with. I'm still doing that now. Still reading books. My life still evolves around, music and TV and movies. That's a different thing altogether. But mainly books and music is where I started. So any kind of school extracurricular that I could do usually was music or writing involved. So I took creative writing classes in high school and took keyboard classes in high school and also in college. And yeah, just always made sure to be doing those things at any time. I don't know how to wrap that sentence up. There you go.
Finished. I have to add something. I have to go back a bit to the apartment building story.
Yes.
I grew myself in an apartment building. We always said in our let's say in our country, we said that apartment building was something which is coming from a communist time, because you were always trying to fit more people on the same ground and making them live all together in small apartments. How
Hmm.
was the community in those apartments building? Because I want to make somehow the comparison to what we had.
Okay.
Um, have you had healthy, caring community, or was more like healthy, caring, and helping each other community, or was more like everyone was for himself?
Um, well, okay, sure. It was a community, and this was in the 70s, of course, because I was born
Mm-hmm.
in 1972. We moved out of there in 1982. So
Mm-hmm.
that's your time frame we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as having like single parents with children, there were also like disabled and elderly people who lived there too, and they had units for them.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody in those apartment buildings, if you were a family, you lived upstairs. If you were elderly or disabled, you lived downstairs. So everybody had like a downstairs neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And almost in every environment, you knew your downstairs neighbor and you
Mm-hmm.
like, looked out, didn't look out for them, but, checked in on them, borrowed things from them, said hey to them. Because, like, we had this relationship with the woman who lived below us. And then, like, my friend over here, they had a relationship with the person who lived below them. And yeah, we were in and out of each other's apartments a lot. Um, I remember being picked on, bullies, fights, and things like that. But those were always situations that occurred, and there were fights, and then the fights would be resolved, and then the next day it would just be back to normal again. We'd see each other at the bus stop, and
Kids fight.
right, it was never like I don't remember anybody having like an ongoing struggle of like that person's always getting picked on every single day. It's like today we're going to pick on that guy for this thing, and then tomorrow we're going to pick on her for this thing. Um, I don't know. There was a lot of community. I got hurt one time, and like some random kids like helped get me back to my house because I was bleeding and I stepped on a piece of glass, and some just two random kids that I didn't know helped me back to my house. Yeah, it was very community. So that's why when we moved to the suburbs, it was a big difference.